So talking about beer, my family flew down for a surprise and I got a reminder 5 minutes to go until I had to stand up here to speak. So I was just having a few bevies. So you guys can all get there soon. So hopefully I don't stumble over my words too much. But yeah, anyway, we'll see how we go. Anyway, I'm Darren and I'm the founder of Storybook. And Storybook came as a concept actually when I was on exchange for QUT. And I had a problem where I was using all different social media platforms, right? Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, trying to share back to my friends and family what I was doing. And for some sides, when I was drunk, Snapchat was great. And when I looked really amazing in Copacabana Beach, once, I think, Instagram was great for that one photo. But my granddad got really, really sick. And he was a frank man. And talking to him on Skype one day, he said, "Darren, your photos are shit. I don't understand what you're doing." So being a good grandson, I said, "What do you want?" And he said, "When you were younger, you used to put a map on your wall and pin your photos on it and then link where you've been and what you've done. I want you to do that and send it to me." So I started doing that, and along with vlogging and blogging, and it was taking all my time. And I said, there has to be an easier way to do this, so I started to teach myself to code. But first, let's set the problem. This is my mate Kieran, and he was also an exchange student and had the same problem. As you can see, Kieran did a great trip all the way from Asia to the UK without catching a plane. After 3 months of traveling and taking his photos, Kieran then got home, spent 2.5 hours mapping it out in Google, putting it with 4 photos, then he uploaded to Facebook, and people got to realize what Kieran had done for those last 3 months. To me, that's a little slow and a little late. So obviously there's features like Snapchat and Instagram stories where you can be snapping as you go and it flips between people. But people want to understand the distance between photos, the location of photos, and the journey that was in between. And they also want it to last so that people like their grandparents and their friends can connect with it. I always talk about my favorite pizza place in Rome. People always then ask me, whereabouts was it? And I answer, Rome. So if you want great pizza, go to that place in Rome. You'll never find it, or you might find it, I don't even know. So that location is key. So I started building Storybook. And Storybook allows you to recreate your photos on maps with dynamic location and movement in as little as 15 seconds. You select your photos, they're automatically loaded in and pinned on maps where they're taken. People can view them in 2 different ways, and you can see one of our earlier versions here, where it physically, like a Prezi, takes you from one location to the other, allowing people to understand movement and the new location, as well as an overall map view, which you'll see later on. Creating content is key, and speed is also the most important factor. As you can see here, this is a video of creating stories. Select your photos, you can add a caption or tag, they're automatically located, you title, add a blurb, and then you can export them out, and people can understand and travel with you on the same level as if a blog. Don't worry about all that stuff, that's a different thing. So we're playing in a field with a few competitors, right? So this PowerPoint's not the one I presented, but my family came, the beers came, and we got a little distracted. Competitors. So I know someone's going to put their hand up and say, so how are you different to Instagram? Well, I get asked that every day and I'm not going to answer that. No. We have different points, and honestly the best way you can see that is download and play with Storybook, and I'm going to give you a code here to unlock some special features, which we'll be doing. But in the competition landscape, we want to provide a deeper level connection than just that individual photo which Instagram shares with you, or that 10-second maybe clothed, maybe unclothed Snapchat chat that you'll get. So we want to provide that deeper connection in just as quick time. So in the amount of time you can take your Snapchat, select that amazing little filter you want, write your corny little comment, and make sure your photo looks good on that picture. We want you to be able to create your whole story that is not naughty and share it out with people. So that is where we're going to land in the space. So where are the differences? And once again, this is a little bit old in the slides, but where do we have that POD, that point of difference from Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Storybook, and all those other things out there? Well, obviously you can like and comment on all these platforms, that's great. There's large existing networks. We don't quite have that yet, but we're in over 35 different countries, working large global brands like Virgin, Singapore Airlines. We're working now with QUT and even Apple and more companies like that. So as we're building, but there's also dynamic location. Direct messaging is something we don't have. We're looking at building out the grouping of photos to provide location-based data, photo mapping and so on like that, but we'll get into that. How do we make money about that? This is always the golden question. And advertising is the easy thing that every young entrepreneur comes into. And definitely advertising is a part of Storyboard that's quite big. And we're lucky to have already signed some contracts with some large partners, which I can't mention, who see the power in it. So there's sponsored posts, but brand integration is key. So if you look on Instagram for good old Kimi Kardashian these days and you see a nice butt pic, you'll also see hashtag ad or hashtag sponsored, because the American departments have deemed that it was too fake that they would just post that one photo with what they're wearing and they have to declare that it is sponsored, because there's no proof that they actually use that product outside that individual photo. With Storyboard, the same similar things of showing how you wear those Nikes as you travel around Europe, as you have your day around Brisbane, that we have already cleared with the same bodies in America that are preventing Instagram, that sort of in-brand marketing, where Storyboard is the level to prove that they can use. So we're extremely powerful with that. We've got itineraries and big data. Customization of maps. I'm going to provide you a code, which is a really secret code, which you can give to any of your friends that aren't in this room as well. And it provides you a few custom maps. What you unlock are not all of the custom maps, and we're going to provide possibly the purchase of maps, or even more, we're looking at different ways of, if you come in and create 2 stories each month, you get a new custom map, and they're limited to only that month, so people want to start using it. We look at likes of games like League of Legends, for the gamers out there, is one of the biggest grossing games in the world. If you don't know it, who really cares? What happens is you don't pay to play, you pay to change how your character looks in essence. People care about customization and vanity items more than they care. Maps and the way the stories are framed by the maps is extremely powerful. Extended story lengths and grouping. We call it Blink 182. People always ask, if we're traveling as a group, can we create a story together? And that is something where we may use as a revenue model, but we're going to test and play with that. Here's some examples of brand integration. This is a little bit old, it looks cooler now, but as it maps into that journey map thing, you can have the fantastic cute little flying plane, which is a lot better than that annoying Facebook ad, in my view anyway. And also working in Virgin with sharing what their flight attendants do. They spend thousands of dollars preparing for Virgin holidays by sending somebody to these locations to test the tours. Well, why can't they have their air hostess and cabin crew do the same thing and provide the feedback? So without going on too much about what we're doing, your best bet is to download the app. The secret code you're doing is actually the unit code for the subject, which is MGB227. So when you sign up, or if you've already signed up and you're an early adopter, you can put that in under the promo code section and it'll provide you a week-long story capture and some custom maps you'll see when they load in on the map. Even better, there are my contact details. If you're unlucky enough to be assigned Storyboard as your project, you can reach out to me and send me more emails, because I don't get more than 1,000 each day and I want more. Coming into the how-to. We have 2 how-tos that we want to look at. The first being, if you take a beautiful photo of you on Copacabana Beach, straight away you think, for the gram, I'm going to put on Instagram. You know that's what you do with that sort of content. If you see your mate drunk and dumb running half naked down the street, you pull out your phone, you start snapping it to all your mates. That's what you do with Snapchat. This is where people have these preconceived images, even if it's not my stupid aneurysms, of what you do. You have the ideas of why you use and post to Instagram and why you post to Facebook or why you post to Snapchat. What we want to create is that idea of, if you have the amazing day, the amazing journey or experience, and you've got multiple photos, then you think straight away you want to post it to Storyboard. And how do we create that? Instagram and Twitter created a hashtag like for like and follow for follow. And that was built by their teams to encourage people to like and exchange likes. And come into the platforms. So how can we create that idea to encourage people to share their stories into Storyboard is our first how-to. Our second one, we don't want to do a like-for-like campaign. But on Storyboard, we're not just going to put your friends' stories in front of you. We want to expand on your understanding of people's travels of the world. We want to expand your views on people's experiences. And not just travel, but what is a day like? What is the day in the life of me? What is the day in the life of you compared to the person next to you? You can share those experiences on Storyboard. So we want to also find a way. The average story has over 1,500 views right now, and they're getting 2 to 3 likes, and even less comments. And we don't believe, with user surveys, that that is because they actually don't like the story. It's because they feel other social platforms are branded, you can only like if there's a connection, if there's a circle. People like photos of people who liked their photos. And that's where a social network creates this horrible little circle chain. So we want to break out of that and encourage people to like and comment on other people's stories and experiences if they're interested, if they have a question about that place and that understanding and connection of community in which we want to build. Because yes, we're initially going for travel, but we want to work on all the other day-to-day experiences. We want to have people sharing stories of what it's like living and working in India. We want to have what it's like to be in America right now. We want to have what it's like to be a female and entrepreneur in the entrepreneur society, to be a student at QT. So we want to build and grow and have those connections and asks. Anyway, that's enough ramble for me. Check it out, download it, use that code, try it out, reach out to me. If you are or not on my team, either way, we can throw some bants, have some fun, and try Storyboard out. Yeah. Any questions? Yeah, go.
So how do I, do I have to rack up 1 million followers again?
Nah. Look.
How do people find my stuff, how do my friends, or am I looking at everyone's, just random, or do I search Bangladesh and then I get Bangladesh? What am I getting?
So, look, first of all, if you've got 1 million followers, we need to talk. Because I'd like to bring them over. There is a follower sort of mentality on Storyboard, right? So, and that's something we're testing, playing with now, because re-getting that following, those vanity metrics, which people love these days, is somewhat important. But yes, in the feed, we take implicit of what you like, and there's also a search discovery feature where you can go and type in Brisbane City or Bangladesh, and we'll bring them forward to you. From the stories you like and go into, we try to give back more appropriate stories to what you like. And as the network grows, that gets easier as we build in. In your settings feature, we used to force you on sign up to select topics and interests you like, and then we'd feed you them. We found that slowed down the sign up process, and we were losing a lot of people in the long sign up. People wanted us to get in and test before they played with that stuff. So in the settings, that's there, and implicitly it gets filled in, and you can untag it. Because my sister doesn't have 1 million, but she's got a lot of followers on Instagram. So I like and comment on her stuff, how you should do if you want to support someone in this social media society, right? But then I also get activewear, female activewear ads on my Instagram. And I can tell you, as unique as I am, I don't go out there and buy much female activewear. So we want it to be fully controlled by the users. So you can search, yes, but we're also going to find ways by you telling us by what you play with. I know the other social medias do that too, but we want to feed in. And we've been testing with some of our social stories of working in India and that, of forcing them into the feed. So you get 2 or 3 stories you like, and then a new discovery one, so we can create that brand awareness, that awareness of other societies' secret places. You could find a really cool bar from Jeff's story in West End, that you never knew of, and that's what we're working on doing.